on this episode of pronouncing things incorrectly.
Or nothing Turkish.
Bacon happener.
Boom. Schmorgendergergen. Merskin. Hey everybody, welcome to Cellar Rats and Cellar Rats. This is the 6th episode, and I'm Jesse Inman.
I'm Aaron Inman. Some call me the International Man of Mystery.
We also want to thank all 20 some odd members of our subscription team on YouTube. We couldn't do basically nothing without you.
Yes, thank you. So today we're going to take all 28 of you on a little jaunt around the globe as we taste Pinot Noirs from exotic places like New Zealand, Burgundy, and Italy. What?
Holy narrow, Batman!
And we'll see if a classic Burgundy tastes anything like a classic Pinot Noir from California.
Yep.
So let's go and find out. So Jesse, what makes Pinot Noir special compared to other grapes?
Well, it does like a cooler climate typically, although some people definitely try and grow it in a warmer climate. It's got a thinner skin, it's a smaller berry. Typically it has a little bit more earthy components to it. Pinot Noir means black cone in French. So it's like a little black pine cone.
Tight little cluster.
Yeah. It is typically grown where there's a lot of fog, and so it can be subject to mold and mildew.
Yeah.
Also, it's very high in resveratrol, which is one of the more powerful antioxidants. So that's why an antioxidant helps fight mold and mildew.
Pinot Noir is one of the oldest grape varietals. They say the Romans might have been sapping on Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is actually really prone to mutation too.
Yeah.
Hence why you have Pinot Grigio or Pinot Gris.
Pinot Meunier.
Pinot Meunier.
Where is Pinot Noir typically grown, Aaron?
Well, the home of Pinot Noir is Burgundy, France. And Bourgogne. The grapes in Burgundy, they struggle a little bit more. So they tend to have a little bit more tannin. They're a little more reserved. They take more time to develop, but that's what makes Burgundy a little bit special.
Agreed.
And California is another special place to grow grapes. One of the nice things about California is the climate is pretty amazing for growing almost any grapes. And then as you get a little bit more coastal, where you get the warm days and the cool nights, it's really epic for Pinot Noir.
It's such a big coastline that you get so much gradation. The coast gets tons of cold weather and fog, and all that fog usually works its way in, works its way back out.
So those are kind of a contrast of two places that grow Pinot Noir. There's a lot. The third largest producer of Pinot Noir in the world, Germany. Who would have thought that? So what's the usual flavor profile of Pinot Noir?
Beets and mushrooms, beets and mushrooms, beets and mushrooms.
You know what's funny? When you Google Pinot Noir, it's actually all fruit.
Beets and mushrooms.
All fruit aromas.
See, I think it's like you get like cherry, you get some apple skin, you get some plum if you have a really ripe Pinot Noir, but I think in Russian River I get a lot of beets and mushrooms. It's kind of earthy, funky. If it's less ripe of a season, you'll get some black tea, maybe a little bit of herbal components, but I think beets, mushrooms, and cherry is typically what I think people will normally characterize it as.
It has tannin, but it's not tannic. I've had tannic Pinots depending on where they've grown them in really stressed out environments, but overall not overly tannic.
Yeah.
Tends to be a little bit higher in acidity, and that gives you the nice mouthfeel.
Exquisite mouthfeel.
So let's get into the tasting. We're going to taste Pinot Noir from California, New Zealand, Italy, and France.
This is Gerrard Raphet. Literally practiced that 3 or 4 times before we started the camera. This is a 2018. Details will probably be over here somewhere. And that is here. Then we have Mount Beautiful. So this is 2017, and this is from North Canterbury. And then this is Turducken. Not true. It's going to be over here.
It's a difficult one to make, yeah.
And this is a 2017 Pinot Nero. Nero and Noir of the same thing, different languages. And then we have yours truly, 2018 California Pinot Noir. It's a blend of 3 different counties.
So let's check the color here. Burgundy's got good color.
Got a little soy sauciness going on there.
A little soy saucy, a little bit of tinfoil kind of in a way.
Yeah, for sure. And so pH. pH is tied to color. The more reds you get, the lower the pH. The lower the pH, the more the acid.
Yes. It's just got a little bit of a pretty aroma once you get underneath that little bit of tinfoil at the beginning.
Yeah, a little metallic. Okay, so this one's got a little bit of a farty characteristic, and that's because, well, I can't wait. Screw caps, first of all, can be an issue, but Pinot Noir can be pretty reductive. That means it puts off sulfur compounds, and so the sulfur compounds turn into like rotten eggy. Although this isn't rotten eggy, it's more gunpowder,
matchsticky.
flinty.
But this one is not as pretty. Let's say that it's got fruit there. The fruit's a little more beat up. It's a little more like rustic. It almost has a little bit of like an orange rind kind of ness to it.
Yeah, it has like I don't know if I'm just full of or not, but it has like a wood chippy characteristic.
A little
to
bit,
it.
yeah.
It could be barrel, but it just might not be very well integrated.
A little bit of beef jerky.
And it could be because they didn't use the screw cap correctly. You do have to know what the hell you're doing when you're doing with the screw cap. This one's got a little bit more stank on it. This one's more intense stank, and this one's a little bit more offensive.
It's a denser stank.
Yeah.
Faunchy.
Word of the day, stank. You say faunchy?
Yeah, it's struggling on the fruit.
Yeah.
It's more like root vegetable and...
See, that's where I get beets and mushrooms. They're kind of these earthy, darky...
But I read the tasting notes and it said lots of cherries, plums, all fruit flavors.
Goes well with every food in the entire book.
It didn't really mention a lot of like the trash.
And so then onto the Lucky Rock.
There's some nice cherry fruit there. You get a little bit of like... Almost like you got a real ripe strawberry.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of that tobacco-y backbone to it, but it's definitely like supporting the fruit. It's not dominating
And I usually will get that from something like Santa Lucia Highlands. You get a little bit more of a tobacco dense fruit characteristic.
Hey, there's some of that in here. Now, mainly what we talked about here was the nose. Yeah. I tasted a couple of these, but we didn't really talk about the mouthfeel.
Let's talk tannin structure and acidity.
Let's talk mouthfeel.
Exquisite mouthfeel.
Normally, we'll go through them, then your mouth adjusts, and then I like to run through them again, and things change dramatically.
A lot of that reduction that we were talking about directly and indirectly blows off too after a little while. Yeah. So let's go back through and maybe talk a little bit more about the structure.
See, I'm getting more violets now on the nose, but this has got pretty racy tannins. They're pretty grippy, kind of chalky. So tannins we usually describe as like prickly, being very small, and then chunky, being very big, and usually somewhere in between those. And everybody has their own descriptors. This is a little bit more prickly.
Yeah, it's a little pricklier.
Less ripe grapes.
This particular wine will be better with some food.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this one, I'm getting, again, a little bit more, it's a little bit tighter, smaller tannins, a little bit more aggressive, but the reduction has blown off a little bit, and it's made it taste more wood chippy.
On the second taste of that, I preferred a little more than I did.
These are all under $25, and so they're all going to be fighting pound for pound. Third one, still it's pretty stinky. Actually, it's to the point where it's becoming unenjoyable for me.
It's moving more, honestly, to the fruit never was there, like, in a prominent fashion, and now the fruit's really not there.
And it's skunky.
And then it also has a little bit of like asphalt, like kind of like wet rock.
Tar.
Which can be good, but
and a Nebbiolo.
It can be good when it's layered, but this is too much.
Yeah.
The nose I would not want to drink that. The mouth is better, but still overall kind of a miss.
And Lucky Rock, it's good. It's clean.
Totally clean. Good fruit.
And again, just because you grow or you make wine that going to go in a screw cap doesn't mean it has to smell like a fart. It's just usually you bottle with a little bit less sulfur, which we like to bottle with a little bit less sulfur anyway. But that sulfur is keeping oxygen away, which is helping your wine reduce, which is not necessarily good in the bottle.
And we've always been big into texture on wine. One of the hallmarks of our wines is we want them to be fairly drinkable on release. And this has a nice, like, it's lifted enough. It's got some tannin, it's got some acidity, but it's pretty velvety.
Yeah, and it's lighter. It's not a big, robust Pinot Noir, but it's good, clean, nice fruit, good tannin structure. It's really everything I want in a Pinot. And it's like this one, if it had a little bit more
body.
Yeah, a little bit more like sweet fruit to it, this would be probably in the same camp.
So for me, it sounds like we're in pretty good agreement. Yeah. Like the real of this was the Pinot Nero, not really good, not beautiful. Maybe not so beautiful. And then you've got the Burgundy, which is really nice, but I also think it's a little more food driven for me. Yep. And this I like with food or without food. Maybe like the concentration of the Burgundy just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming with us on this journey across Burgundy, Italy, New Zealand, and Merica. I think we made some good discoveries today.
Yeah. If you made it this far, you've learned a lot.
Good on you. Maybe we have 29 subscribers now. So, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you on the next episode.